famous rabbis of yesteryear. Now, another special edition over here. We're going to speak a little bit about a very famous rabbi of his time, Rabbi Rafael Avraham Shaki. A famous rabbi. I'm not too sure the exact date he was born, but he was a famous rabbi. It could be that he passed away at around the time period of 1837. At the time period, I think there was an earthquake that obviously left devastation in the area he was living in. But be it as it may, he was a very, very great rabbi, famous, I think, rabbinic family also. So I think it's an opportune time to say a few words in regards to great rabbi. Now, Rabbi Rafael Avraham Shaki was born and I think came from a rabbinic auspices. His father was Rabbi Yehuda Shaki, and he was born in Constantinople in Turkey. And he would learn Torah under the auspices of his father, Rabbi Yehuda Shaki. I think we've mentioned him on various occasions before. Now, he had a very prominent role, his father did, in his vicinity. He was the head of Jewish court there in the city of Kushta in Constantinople. This is a very, very prominent position because remember, at that point in time, especially early 1800s, Turkey was a center, let's just say, of Torah learning across the world. It was a bastion area over there, and he would grow up with great Yirat Shamayim, fear of heaven, and Torah imbued. He would be working, I think, in the more square area of the Al-At in Kushta, respectively. It's a place I think we mentioned about on various occasions before. It was a Balat district, I think, of Constantinople. And he was close to various different great rabbis over there, rabbis we've mentioned about on various occasions before, including among his learners was Rabbi Rafael David Yerushalmi. He's another rabbi I think we've spoken about before on various occasions inside this series, which I'll recommend everyone to. His name has definitely come up on various occasions before. He wrote, I think, great Torah books in of itself. I think most notably, if I'm not mistaken, Rav Yerushalmi actually, I think, wrote a huge book that I think was printed in once again Kushtina. I think it was Sefer Abat David. Also, Rabbi Rafael David Yerushalmi, I think, I don't know if it was huge or not, but had 25 pages in it, respectively, but very, very important work. I think it was printed actually in the year 5599, Hebrew year, respectively. So that was one of the people he was close to. Another great rabbi who we've mentioned about on various occasions before, Rabbi Moshe Frishko. Now, he's another very interesting rabbi, like we've concentrated on in this series, part of the galaxy of great rabbis from Turkey. I think he wrote Torah ship work, I think on the Rambam, if I'm not mistaken. He himself did. And other important Torah works also. Now, another one of the people in the great rabbis over there. So Rabbi Moshe Frishko was the author of the Yadav Shel Moshe. That was, and I think it was also connected to Hamalot L'Shlomo. And there was also Rav Shlomo Chazan, respectively, who was a rabbi of Alexandria at that point in time. And he was, I think, a great gvir, philanthropist also, and really helped the Jewish community over there, respectively. So many great rabbis who've spoken about here on of yesteryear that he was very, very much connected to. Maybe we'll do a separate class, hopefully, at one stage, speaking about the history of the great rabbinate of Turkey in its time, because I think that's going to be very, very important to do at a later stage of time. Okay, so let's continue. So you'll be very close to all these great rabbis, these great leaders, have correspondence. I think it was the year 1806. He would actually have the merit of making Aliyah to Eretz Israel with his father, Rabbi Yehuda Shaki, over there. Remember, I think many people would try to go to Eretz Israel, especially to 4 holy cities at various different times. And he would become the rabbi, I think, of Tzfat. I think there was a devastating earthquake that actually took place in 1837, if I'm not mistaken. And he would be the rabbi, I think, there until that stage in time. I'm not too sure. It could be passed away around that time. I don't know if it was because of the earthquake or not. But it seems that it was around that time period. If anyone knows more or has more clarity on that, I would really, really appreciate it. And I would really like to know. There's information about him on the HebrewBooks.org website, for example. Also, GoogleBooks.org. The Google site itself will also give important information within regards to him. And it could be, so we're not too sure when he passed away. There's varying time periods when the book was actually published also. According to one opinion, I think the great book of his was called the Shemen Rosh, I believe. Now, what's interesting is one place actually on the using the books of Google, it actually states it was printed in 1839, I believe, which is very interesting. I think through Rav Yitzchak Dai Castro, if I'm not mistaken. But on the Hayomi website, it says it was maybe 1849. So if anyone has more clarity, I would really appreciate it. And they say actually it was in the Hayomi website will say Rabbi Rafael Avraham Ben Habib will help, I think, with regards to the printing of it on that year. But I have to double check on all those important things. Now, we're not too sure the exact date when he passed away. I assume it was around 1837, if it was that point in time. But the Hayomi website would commemorate his Hilula on the 6th of Elul. The reason they give it, I think that was the date when the preparation of his book, the Shemen Rosh, was actually made to print, so they will commemorate it on that specific day. But if anyone has more information with regards to the exact date he passed away, I would really, really appreciate if you know more information about it. I think he was buried in Eretz Yisrael, in Tzfat, I believe. And that's very, very interesting. His books, you can actually see on the HebrewBooks.org website, very much you can actually see the preface of the book and the importance of the book also itself respectively. I think, according also to HebrewBooks.org, it was printed in 1839. So according to Google Books and Hebrew Books, it's 1839. So seemingly it was most likely on that date. Apparently contained 116 pages to the book in of itself. It was printed once again in as it says inside the preface, in Koshtarina. I think that's part of Turkey. It's actually addressed by Zanti over there, and it mentions Dr. Castro also associated with the book. Maybe he had some part in printing it, as we said before, but this was a Torah colossal book of Rabbi Rafael Avraham Shaki. Very, very great. And I think it was actually came from, they gave a source of HebrewBooks.org where they retrieved maybe the book was from the Chaim Elazar Reich Renaissance Hebraica collection, if I'm not mistaken. They would actually, I think the Hebrew year when it was published was in Tavkuf Tzadik Tet, in that specific place, respectively. But he was a great rabbi of his time. Let's explore a few of the highlights from his book also. But one of the teachings, it says, I think in the Shemen Rosh, I think on page number 28, it states over, an important teaching over there. Once again, the website would say it was printed in 1849, so maybe there was two different printings, I'm not too sure. Another teaching, this actually comes from the Shemen Rosh, I think page 26 on Amud Bet, on the second page, respectively. Another teaching, this is from page 29 in the book, respectively, the Shemen Rosh. Another teaching, this is from page 21 of the book. Once again, it says it was printed through, I don't know if it was a doctor or not, I think it was Dr. Yitzhak Di Castro, if I'm not mistaken, in this specific vicinity. Another teaching, this comes from page number 12 of the Shemen Rosh. And another teaching over here, this is from page 29 once again. And this, I believe, is from the Shemen Rosh once again, respectively. So there's a lot of information. I think Google Books actually do talk about this also, respectively. And very, very interesting. So I recommend everyone to get into it. And there was many, many great rabbis of yesteryear. So that is very interesting. Well, we should get Yitzhak Di Castro, if I'm not mistaken. There was another person of his name, I think, that passed away in 1687. So I don't think it was the same person, but I'll have to. So that is very, very interesting. So, so friends, we're a community over here. We are learning about great rabbis of yesteryear. Now, if you descend from any of the famous rabbis we are speaking about, please don't hesitate. Let me know. Send me a comment. Send me an email. I would love to hear more information about the great Chachamim. If you descend from any great rabbis, please let me know who. If you feel we haven't actually recorded the great Chacham inside the series yet, we would love to mention him. I'd love to investigate more on the great rabbi over here, and to just go from strength to strength. And we're trying to form an online encyclopedia over here. We love to hear about the great rabbis of yesteryear, especially from the Oriental countries, the Spanish countries, the vicinities, respectively, the Ottoman places, also respectively. All these places we are trying to learn about the great families, the great rabbis, what was going on over there in that time. We're trying to really get an in-depth knowledge of what's going on, especially North African countries, Asian countries. We even go to Ethiopia. We try and explore about the famous rabbis that actually lived there in those specific points in time. But he very much himself was one of the great rabbis, Rabbi of Tzfat, also the holy city of Tzfat, which is always a privilege to actually speak about over here. So friends, please subscribe to the channel. We are nearing at the moment a staggering 7,500 subscribers. We want to get to Rosh Hashanah, ideally to that specific amount. That will be absolutely incredible if we can get to there. If you feel anyone, once again, is interested in watching any of these videos over here that we are recording, please share these videos to other people respectively. So on that note, I'm wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom. We are coming into Shabbat Parashat Shoftim this week. We're in the fifth parasha in the book of Devarim, and it's always very much exciting. And wish you all a good Shabbat and blessings. And please look at the playlist. We've got a long playlist of many videos of great Chachamim of year. So wishing you blessings. Recording this actually from the city of Bet Shemesh, Ramat Bet Shemesh. Ramat Bet Shemesh Aleph to be precise. Thank you, and wishing you all well and appreciate. Thanks very much, everyone, for